I feel like that's a good sign that I guess he's the first Sounder to be called up to a European team, and it seems like that's becoming more and more normal in MLS for players that to get called up to their European sides.
No, I mean it's great. It's great. Obviously Kufo came to us after he had completed his time with Switzerland, but he came off a World Cup. So, it's great for Adam. It's good from the standpoint of the recognition within our league and our club that a player can come over here and play and then still be mentioned for their national team. I mean, you look at. The names escapes me right now. What am I doing? Drawing a blank. Our Swedish guy last year.
Oh, Freeberg.
Yeah, Freeberg. Freebird. Freeberg. Freeberg when he went back and we sold him back to Malmo, and then immediately after that he made appearances for the national team. So obviously his year here didn't hurt him in terms of his development, and I think as coaches see that, and I spoke to the Swedish coach on the telephone. We talked a bit. I'd met him when he was coaching Rosenborg, and so we know each other a little bit. And I think it's good for our league, for those coaches to see that players continue to grow and develop.
Got Steve in the lineup 2 league games in a row now. Just kind of what have you seen out of him as he's progressed these last maybe few weeks, month, whatever?
Well, as I said, when you come back right away, there's always that adrenaline rush that hits you and allows you to perform and do well on your initial games. And I think he's still in that mode. It's for him the experiences and the confidence every time he plays. He's able to execute something in the game that gives him confidence that, hey, I can still do that. That still works. And so, right now, we'll see what the opportunity brings with it on Saturday. But we're trying to give him opportunities to play, and at the same token, he's going to hit a lull. When he hits that lull, then I gotta make sure I recognize that and pull him off at that point. But for him right now, it's still about growing in confidence and just the faith in his abilities.
Are you starting to see more and more of the player he was before the injury?
Yeah, and we've talked about things. He came in early today. He looked at some film, with Brian. Film comparing, how he played in 2010, 11, how he's playing this year, where he's picking up the ball on the field. Those are all things that we're talking about, because we're saying you don't want to change. You can still do what you did. And so we've talked about a lot of those things.
How big a difference is having Eichel back for this game as opposed to the last time in Portland you didn't have him?
I mean, he's a huge presence for us, not only in terms of his abilities in goal. He's a good goalkeeper, but just in terms of what he provides in the locker room and his leadership, and he's just a good guy to have there. He's quick-witted, he's funny, he's confident, and he's also demanding. And so to have that in the locker room before the game's important. To have that on the field, his organization, what he demands of the people in front of him, helps us as well. So, and then you add to that he's also, I think, one of the better goalkeepers in this league. That makes it a big win for us.
Is there a difference in the mood today as the game draws near?
Well, I don't know if there's a difference in the mood. We talked about, we're not ready to give the Cascadia Cup away yet. So we know that if they win, that they'll then win the Cascadia Cup because they win the head-to-head with us. But our objective always is to win our head-to-head series, to win season series with teams, and this is season series we still want to win. So we're not going to give it away Saturday.
Looking back on it now, are you okay with the format of the Cascadia Cup where every game counts equally, or would you rather see a more equitable format?
I expressed that at the beginning of the year. I think the league could have come up with a situation where they know that this is a competition between 3 teams, and they could have come up with a schedule that would allow 3 games at home and 3 games away. Obviously they didn't do that, and so there's nothing we can do to change it. If the league is appropriate, then next year we'll have 4 games at home. It'll be turnabout at that point.
Cascadia Cup aside, the Timbers really have nothing to lose when it comes to league play. How dangerous does that make them?
Well, it makes them a little more of a free-flowing team because they pretty much realize the playoff bus has passed them. But they're playing on a field. Their field's a little more compact, it's a little smaller, so it lends to a little more physical nature of play. So we hope that doesn't become an issue in the game, and I don't think it will. I think they're going to go out and they're going to play hard and they're going to try and win the game. But from our standpoint, I think the motivation of the Cascadia Cup probably overrides the other things for them, and as a result, this is going to be a difficult game because of that. And when you add to it that they can cheat and the points don't matter, it just makes them a little tougher to figure out.
Speaking of that physicality, Zach Scott was saying that you guys didn't match their intensity last time you played them. How do you do so for this game?
Well, we came out, I thought, a little bit flat, so we got to make sure we don't come out flat, and we're ready to challenge and battle for the ball right away. We can't do what we did against Chivas early in the game and sit back and give away the opening goal, especially away from home. And we just got to come in with good, good intensity and good concentration at the beginning of the game, and make sure that we're there to challenge for balls. Not that we have to be dirty or hard or anything like that. We just got to be there to challenge for everything.
How are Morrow and Christian today?
We'll have to see. We'll know a little bit more tomorrow. Morrow seems a little bit closer than Christian, but Christian just had the cortisone shot, so today was the first day out there. So tomorrow he should feel a lot better. So it'll be determinations that we make tomorrow, maybe even into Saturday.
Seems odd to say, but would you rather not clinch a playoff berth this weekend, which would require a San Jose win?
No, we want half of that equation to happen. The half where we beat Portland, we want to happen, and then we'll take waiting a week longer if Chivas can get a result against San Jose. Yeah, we'll wait a week longer, no problems.
I think you were probably asked this earlier in the week, but just the significance of this for the rivalry and for the league, of this being on NBC, getting that network treatment and all that.
Well, it's great. It's great that it's on NBC because it gives the country an opportunity to see what we know in Northwest and to see the, obviously their stadium is a very compact stadium, but there's a lot of color, there's a lot of pageantry in their stadium, and there's a lot of atmosphere there to absorb, and I think that comes through on TV. It comes through better if you're there in person, but it comes through on TV as well. And I think for the nation to see that, it's a great advert for the sport, for the sport of soccer. And I think they'll see by the level of play on the field and the intensity and the desire that the teams display, it'll show what a rivalry is all about from the field to the stands.
Me preguntaron si podría hacer un anuncio y pensé que era porque yo juego para los Seattle Sounders. No puedo porque mi inglés no es muy bueno. That's true. Entonces me dijeron que el anuncio era de padres, niños y familias. Eso es muy importante para mí y le dije que yo hago lo que puedo hacer. No importa cuál idioma tú hablas, hay un idioma universal que nuestros niños comprenden y necesitan. Y es el amor y el cariño de los padres. Be a good parent and stay involved in your child's life.